Ladies and gents, my name's Arm, and I recently posted a snippet from an old video, which was all about doping and why it doesn't make sense and how it happens and why people do it. And essentially, the one sentence the snippet was that if you have to smoke weed to relax, you haven't worked before. So that's quite offensive, I understand. I got a lot of hate comment for that. It's okay, I can live with this. So, people don't have to like me, that's fine. But I understand that there are cases where it's better than taking a so-called medical drug. It's better to smoke weed. That's fine. Okay, I'm not in the same situation, so I cannot comment on that, and I will probably not judge anybody who smokes weed. At least not openly. Everybody judges everybody, honestly. You shouldn't judge people. Everybody does. You always compare yourself, so be straight and honest. And somebody comment, "Hey, you've got this fluffy face, and you never worked yourself," and and all that, which is just plain stupid. So I thought, okay, but I've never talked about my personal background, and I don't want to make a lengthy video of my personal story, because honestly my personal story is interesting for me but not for many other people. So I try to keep it very short to get my point across. Grew up as single mom kid. Father left when I was a baby. It stuck with me that I wasn't worth having a father like millions of other kids, so it's nothing special. I grew up poor, with a loving mother. That is a huge benefit. I grew up with the idea that anybody who's got money is probably a criminal, offensive, or abusive. That was my assumption, that is exactly what was the case. So then I learned, actually there are people who do make money and they're not abusive. It has something to do with the effort you put in. But ever since I was a kid, I was interested in, why am I here and what is this all about? This life thing. I was always interested in that. I wanted to know. And I realized that nobody actually has an answer. Nobody. You can turn to church and they will tell you, listen to what she just said and all these other prophets, and you can turn to Muslim church and say, okay, listen to what Prophet Muhammad said. It's all legitimate. It's okay. But I wanted to do my own thinking. This is why I had no interest to listen to what somebody else said. I wanted to do my own thinking, draw my own conclusions. And I came up with one very important thing. It is perfectly okay to have zero clue how to take the next step. It is perfectly okay to have no idea how to advance. But it is not okay to be passive, be the victim on a continuous basis, and to be afraid of making mistakes. It's okay to have fear. It's okay to feel like a victim every once in a while. I did the same. It's okay to blame others. We are not perfect. But eventually, you got to get out of this game. Eventually, you have to leave this game and say, okay, I had a lot of this. I experienced a couple of things when I was a kid that no kid should experience. I'm not going to go into details, but it certainly is considered a criminal offense. Quite a massive one. People go to jail for that. I experienced it as a victim. But the thing is that you've got a choice what you make of it. And when I see these comments and I go to smoke weed essentially to escape from my problems and so on, it's okay. Do it. But eventually, I think, from my personal belief, you have to make a decision how to shape your life. And if you look at all these people on YouTube, I mean, they've got great bodies. They're super well in shape. I'm a rowing coach. I'm a professional rowing coach. And right now, I'm not 100% in shape. I can easily Romanian deadlift 100 kilos, squat 100 kilos, all that stuff. That's fine. But I'm not one of these ripped dudes. I've got 3 kids. I work roughly 70 to 80 hours a week because I reduced from 100 to 90 hours when my first son was born. Talking about have never worked before. There were many times when I built up my company, had between 1 and 3 day jobs just to pay for Biro, because if you set up a production company with no loan, no investors, no clue, being stupid, you just work a lot to make things happen. There were many days where I came home, said hello to my son, tried to play with him, and I fell asleep on the living room floor because I couldn't make it to bed. So I slept there for 2 hours until I woke up, brushed my teeth, went to bed, got up the next day to work, my day job, to work as a coach afterwards, to work for Biro until midnight. That is not uncommon. A lot of people do this. It got to a point where my doctor said, if you continue that way, I give you 10 more years and then you're dead. So I understood there's something I should change. This is why I reduced to 78 hours of work per week. The thing is that work alone is not what's fulfilling. I do think physical work is fulfilling to a certain degree, just making wood, working out, stuff like that. I neglected this. I neglected my body, my own needs to a large degree for a long time. And I'm not alone with this. A lot of people do this. But the thing is, with the one sentence where I said, if you feel like you need to smoke weed to relax, you've never worked. I mean, you've never dared to take the risk of making mistakes. You stop taking risks, you stop being afraid, you stop being scared and still taking the next step to shape the kind of life that you, deep in your heart, want to shape. That's why we're here. Now, this video has nothing to do with rowing technique. It has a lot to do with what rowing made of me, that physical struggle, that feeling of insufficiency, that is it enough, all that. I'm not the only one with this challenge. So, smoke weed if you want to. I don't. For me personally, it doesn't make any sense. That's why I refused to get drunk even once in my life. I do drink alcohol every once in a while, but I was never drunk. Never smoked one cigarette. I do like to smoke a cigar. But I thought that my brain works just about well enough without being drunk. I cannot afford to lose one brain cell. I just can't afford. It's that simple. Now, with this being said, a bit of a personal background story. I hope it didn't bore you. I hope it was somewhat interesting. I'm very much looking forward to your comments. There's so much more to say, and I could talk about this more. And if you're interested, I happily cover not just the weed topic, but just the general topic I covered now in more detail in the future. With this being said, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.